Is it afternoon?
It is afternoon.
Stop the world. I hope we're doing well. Good morning. There we go. We'll start with good morning.
Right.
Yeah, everybody.
Good morning.
I hope
Good
you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining us here for round number 5 here of the WTC Warmachine Team Championships, hosted here in Blankenberg in Belgium, which is wonderful to be here.
Beautiful here.
Dinner was great. Lunch was wonderful.
Lunch was so good today.
Super good.
And we've had another improvement on the live stream compared to last game. We've got Christoph from the judging team joining us here.
Yep.
He's going to be at the table, and it is right now, and he's got a laptop with him. So he's messaging me all of the information about exactly what's happening on our focus table, which is table 5. But we will, of course, go through all 5 tables, and we'll keep jotting back to them because this is a team tournament.
Absolutely, it is, and it's
Every game matters.
It's a big deal right now.
It's a very big deal. Like, this could potentially be the final match of the weekend. It all depends what happens on table 2, because we have 3 teams undefeated.
Yes, correct. 3 teams undefeated. We have Australia, who's been on our stream. We have Canada here in front of us that was on our last stream.
And Norway here in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
Norway making their first appearance.
Yeah. So, whoever wins this will either be crowned the winner if Australia lose, or go on to the 6th round to decide a definitive winner should Australia win.
Right, exactly.
And they are playing France, who we had on the stream, I believe, previously.
Correct.
So it's a pretty difficult team to play.
It is. They're really good.
Yeah,
They
they're
barely
really good.
lost to Canada.
Yeah.
Barely.
Oh, like a couple of assassinations went one way, a couple of clockouts went the other.
Right.
1 clock out. Yeah.
Hopefully they'll learn from that sort of stuff. This is Doug, and this is John. Chat.
It's true. Yeah. Yeah.
And
The
this
name
is
plays
Ben.
This is Ben, our transparent friend.
There
Right.
you go. Transparent, did you
You're
say?
the only person that ever makes me look tan.
Oh, I'm the most pale thing in the world. Look,
So pale.
I look worse than a sheet of paper.
I only look less pale because I'm hiding in the shadow behind. See?
None of us are
I
getting our
got
sun.
I got you. Well, I play video games and paint toy soldiers basically all
Excellent.
day.
You do.
So brilliant, perfect. Well, without any further ado, let's stop looking at my pale face and we'll have a look at these matches.
Let's take a peek.
We'll keep having a cheeky peek. I will keep checking over on tiebreak as well, just to make sure to see if any of the Australian games are coming in. I don't assume they'll be coming in right this second because they've just started, but within the next hour to hour 15, I suspect we'll get a couple of finishes at some point. But we got on table 1, we've got Corey, who was our feature table last game, this time playing Ragnar in his Trollbloods against Sphere with Kalissa 1 in
Another
Retribution.
Calissa. Good to see you again.
Yeah.
And
this should-
Ragnar's like a way better matchup against her than Wormwood was when we saw that last.
So that gives the option to
It means it'll actually be a pretty solid fight. Like
Yeah.
their feats are going to be able to answer each other. The forces that they're going to array against each other are going to be able to answer each other. It will actually be a fight.
Should be a good matchup, and it's rare that Corey loses 2 games in a row.
So we'll see.
I think he got pretty unlucky in that last game. To be
think so
honest
too.
with you. I mean, we saw the dice.
Florian's dice.
Oh,
Jeez.
honestly,
They were really good.
I did give him those. They're the ones that I did wait. So yeah, I mean, he took it. He took it like a champ
Privateer Press does not condone any cheating in any games of Warmachine.
in any games at all.
Man,
No, other games. I mean, to be fair, Monopoly, right, is the only game you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
Nobody really knows the rules. So
Risk. Yeah.
yeah.
Have fun.
What is it? Cards? What's cards? There's a card
Against
game.
Humanity.
Well,
Poker?
you can't really cheat in that. Can't really cheat in that either.
No, you'll get shot.
There's Uno, right? If
No,
you
you can cheat.
you can cheat if you manage to stack 2 of the 2 cards on one under another and put them down. I've done that before. I've got rid of literally half my hand in one go. Anyway,
Well, let's jump to table 2.
yeah. Moving on, we've got quite a popular thing on the stream over the past couple of games. Actually, we've seen a lot of Madrak 3
Right.
in the Troll Ball. Yeah, and a couple of Gerhardt as well.
Those seem to be 2 of the most popular lists we've seen here.
Is that because of the meta that was developed online and people have sort of seen these are either the staples or they are an answer?
Both. Bit of both.
Yep.
Magic 3 is just strong,
Yes.
which is why you tend to see him more than the other 2 versions of him. And then Gerhardt, like I said, he's just incredibly adaptable.
Yeah.
So you're going to be able to take advantages where your opponent might not see it coming.
Of course. All right. And then that's John versus Jonas, and then on the Battle of the Jays. I like that.
Right.
And then on table 3, we have got Matthew versus Martin. From here on out, the clocks should all be updating. Just table 1 and table 2 decided not to use them, which is absolutely like our clocks they're using the traditional ones, which is absolutely fine. We don't want to impede their game at any
We'll
point.
just have to check in
We'll
on
just go
the
check in on him in a bit.
Yeah.
scoring.
So yeah, Matthew versus Martin. We've got Karchev 2, our Kador Force versus Chromac 1, our Circle.
Yeah, and lately, up until today, most of the Karchev 2 that we've seen on stream has been a Crix list, whereas today both of the Karchev 2s that we've got going are Kador.
Interesting, isn't it?
Just looking for the more armor and more punch versus the maneuverability and recursion
Yeah,
that
of
you
course.
might see with Crix.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. And then table 4, we've got Mark Andre versus Jakob, and it's Boulder 2, which we haven't seen yet actually as part of Circle, versus Karchev 2 Kador, as you mentioned.
Right, and I'm actually kind of really interested in seeing how this one plays out because we haven't seen Baldur 2 in a bit. So how that ends up shaping out will be kind of interesting to see because he can take as good as he gets. So
I
it'll
mean,
be a nice one to see played in the Karchev.
I'm not going to lie. Jakob with his Kador have done a fantastic job of putting numbers on top of his models. Like we can see the 1s, the 3s, the 2s,
Yeah.
Makes it good.
which is nice to help identify them, which is super nice. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, but I think part of the deciding factor will be feat v feat.
Yep.
Because this Baldur has one of my favorite feats, which is Hallowed Ground. So friendly faction models in his control range are affected by Roots of the Earth. Right, so basically it's going to be, they're not going to be able to be like assaulted as easily. They're not going to be able to be knocked
Nice.
down, all of those kind of good things. And Karchev is a very aggressive caster, right? So that is a good answer into him.
A lot of jacks in that list.
I was going to say, looking at it, I can see an awful lot of jacks on the table. That's kind of my looking army. Like, few models, but then a smattering of small infantry, but nice big chunky boys as well, which is super nice.
I see like maybe 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 jacks plus Karchev.
Yep. And Karchev himself is in a stonking great jack body, isn't he, at this point?
Yeah. He's in the death jack body.
Love it. Love it. Absolutely amazing. And then moving on to our feature table today. Table number 5. Here we go. We have got Charles, who is running Gorton Grundback with his mercenaries. We've got a cheeky Nemo in there as well. And then we've got Kuba with Madrak 3 again and some Trollblood. So this is a pretty standard thing we've come to see, as I say, across. We've got 2 Madraks in this in this one set of matchups, which is quite interesting.
Yeah. I'm just going over Charles's list at the moment.
Yeah, I have I haven't seen a lot of Gorton or I don't play a lot of Trollbloods myself, so I did put the list into War Room so that I can look it over and try to talk about it a little bit. But if anybody in chat has info that they want to share while we're going through this on these casters or these models, feel free to throw it in.
Well, so my interesting point here, right, because Madrak, as I mentioned earlier, is a powerhouse, right?
Yep.
He likes to hit really hard, and he's got a lot of Trollbloods on his side.
Yep.
Right, so especially with the 2 Pyre Trolls that we can see up in the upper area here for, inflicting extra damage and setting folks on fire, and just, getting across the table and causing pain. Gorton Grunback's feat is, God, it's a good answer to this, right? So he can either decide he wants to pull forces into his drillers or knock everybody back, because his feat is he chooses the table edge and a distance of up to 8 inches. And then enemy models in his control range are pushed that direction, right? And for 1 round, those models get -3 to speed, their ranged attack ability, and their defense. And they can't give or receive orders, can't charge or make slam or power or trample attacks. So all those big beefy trolls on his team will just be shut down.
Yeah, for that turn. Oh,
So he has the kit to do some really nasty things, but he's gonna want to get himself into a position where either A, Kuba has overextended himself, right, and get him knocked out of the way so he can, either go for the objectives, cast or kill, what have you, or he's going to find a reason to shift the army to the left or to the right that's being affected by it into a kill box. Which, with between, Nemo hanging out in the corner there and some of his other stuff he's got on the table is very probable.
Nemo looking nice and large there. Always a daunting sight to see something so colossal at base side of the table, actually. But we do have Christoph as well at the table, reading us an absolute metric ton of information. This is wonderful, so thank you very much. I'm just throwing my keyboard, throwing my phone all over the keyboard.
Curses.
He's feeding us loads of information here. So just a little bit of background on this table. We've got Charles won the roll-off and decided to take the better side of the table, as was decided by both the players, actually. The judge set the terrain up. And, that table choice is quite important. So we can see that he chose that side with the wall covering his zone and the big house at the top of the screen that you can see. Also,
It may prevent some flanking, but it's also giving him a nice screen there.
yeah, pretty darn good. Then we've got things like I'm just trying to say. The setup from the Madrak suggested a game plan of blocking his zone by his Fen Blades. His battle group was centered to secure the scoring zone and disclaiming the center. And far right Fen Blades from one of the units of Fen Blades, will swarm his square and then feet in order to be unremovable.
Yep.
That's what he suspects that the Gordon.
Yeah, so probably these down here, pop them in.
Yeah, just on the bottom of your screen there.
Right, because if, under feet, the Fen Blades with tough are they're going to make
They're
the
not
tough
going
roll
anywhere.
Yeah, they're going to make the tough roll on 4, 5, or 6. They don't get knocked down, so they're gonna be really tough to remove if at all. And Madrak really he's all about pushing them forward and making them stronger with Battle Lust and Defender's Ward.
Mouse, just for clarification, is it myself, Ben, with the reverb, or is it John? Or Doug? Well, I don't think it would be Doug.
Because I don't talk enough.
No, because you weren't talking at the time that came through. Yeah.
Gotcha.
If you could let us know, I'll do what I can to sort through that. But hopefully I have raised the gain levels of the other two.
Yep.
Oh, or what it could be is because I turned the gain up on your microphone, it also picks me up more. So I need to lower the threshold that it opens. That's not that useful.
Multiple people were like, Ben. So
I'll
yeah,
take
it's
that.
probably the gain on mine picking you up.
Yeah.
Back to the game, however. So right now we've obviously got a couple measuring for some clarification here. Yep, gonna get Nemo up there.
Yeah,
We'll
we
get him scooched into just the right position to blow anyone off that objective is what it looks like, or attack the objective.
Which it looks like that might be what he's doing.
Yeah. Which it is always a completely valid thing to do, is get rid of the enemy objective.
did see that. Yeah, it's still
A couple of times last game. Let's see here. Go over to Artificer Prime Nemo.
Yep.
Yeah. Man, this list is so delicious. Like, if people go and look this up on Tiebreaker, he's got the Irregulars theme force going on with Gorton Grunback. Number of drillers, Gorton Grunback Blaster. He's got Artificer Prime Nemo with his mechanics and a rover. And then he's got Anastasia Debray, right, for lots of mobility and murdering. Gudrun the Wanderer, for pretty much similar, tying folks up and getting some damage done. He's got a Hermit, so it's going to be a lot harder to take him out of the fight. Dozen Gubbin, Dynamite Duo, so he's going to be leaping around basically and just blasting things to pieces. Kel Bialik, so he's got some ranged stuff going on. Asphyxius the Sanctified with a Vanguard, so he's got a screen in front of him so he can lay down just a bunch of caustic clouds, basically. And then he's got two small squads of Kayazi Eliminators, so he can run around the flanks and take out the threats that he's not exactly a big fan of.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for that. Cheeky rundown, but I don't want to.
Oh, it's okay.
Hey, you said cheeky, everybody drink.
And then, Doug, could you run us through
Yeah, real
our
quick,
option list?
I'll talk about what Kuba's playing. So obviously Madrak we mentioned is his great chieftain. Uh, Madrak's pretty much all about the offense, and not only himself, but with a spell like Battle Lust, where his friendly target model or unit gains an additional die on melee damage rolls. So obviously that's great. He can throw out Defender's Ward to give +2 defense to his people. He also has Rebuke and Spell Piercer. And then lastly, his feat, again, it's just going to be an offensive style feat. Actually, I think it's defensive. Let me get to it. In Madrak's control range, friendly faction warrior models cannot become knocked down. When a friendly faction warrior model makes a tough roll of 4, 5, or 6 while in Madrak's control range, remove 1 damage point from the model. So he is already making a tough army even tougher. And they can also, after removing damage, the affected model can advance up to 3 inches. So he's going to be tough to take out. With making tough rolls half the time on his army, and them not going anywhere. They don't get knocked down. So you hit them a couple more times. They keep making tough checks. It's going to be tough to remove. And then
Tough.
yeah, everything else in army. So his battle group is a troll. He has a Trollkin Runebearer attachment, and then he has a Dire Troll Bomber for a little bit of a ranged action, but is still fine in hand-to-hand combat. And 2 Pyre Trolls. So the Pyre Trolls are pretty nasty. They get in, they light things on fire, and they beat them down.
Yeah, and right now they're having Gubbin fired at him over there. So Des has just used her mini feat. And is basically using projectile Gubbin. So that model, once per game at any time during the activation, this model gains boosted blast damage rolls. Projectile Gubbin lasts for 1 turn. So looking to see if they can answer all that tough going on and maybe winnow down some trolls. Looks like there goes a Fenblade.
Yeah, and then the
lots of models got hit on that.
Yeah, going through just real quick. The rest of the army is solos and a couple of units of Fenblades, a Dunian Archon, but even his solos,
well, and that took out the unit attachment there too. So 2 inches of threat range is going to be gone.
That's good. Yeah, because everything he has out there, it looks like it's designed to buff his army.
Yeah,
make him hit harder and better, and
and
stay on the table.
That's why you just bring a whole bunch of trolls, is to hit hard and hit fast.
Right, and
not
make
die.
tough rolls.
Yeah, ideally not die.
Yes, of course.
It looks like Nemo, or over on that side earlier, when Nemo took out the objective, he did forget to sidestep, so he wasn't going to be able to score the other objective.
Oh, that's going
to cost him
that hurts.
But still, I mean, he's getting a lot of work done, so
it looks like
he can make it up.
But again, like we talked about, that
the points matter.
Yeah, points matter, and the trolls. He's already got them set up in a brick, so in kind of standard troll fashion, the brick will be moving forward.
Just a swarm of trolls.
Yeah, it's funny. Like Kuba's army looks like a mass of bodies, whereas Charles' army looks like it's short on numbers. Sometimes it's about the quality, though.
Yeah. All right, it's going to go back to Madrak. Well, Kuba controlling Madrak.
Right.
And now it's about getting back into position.
I've never really had a lot of interest in trolls, and as I read through some of these lists,
there's
and what
so
some
much
of these
fun.
models can do. Yeah,
there's so much fun.
They really look like they can do a lot.
Yeah.
And like the Pyre Trolls are so cool looking.
Yeah. When they hit really hard, and then you're on fire.
Yeah, continuous fire. And their Animus Flaming Fist, target friendly faction model gains +2 to melee damage rolls and immunity to fire. Yeah.
Yeah, it hurts real good.
It burns. Yeah, so even if you hit a Pirate Troll, you catch on fire.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they regenerate because they're trolls. Why wouldn't they? It looks like Kuba is checking some ranges. And he does have 1 control point already. Ben coming back to join us. Making a few technical adjustments for us.
Yeah. And someone was asking what solo did Nemo summon in. He didn't summon in. It was Anastasia showing up unexpectedly. So jumping in there. See here.
Is that something that
So
we can
yeah,
do?
we've got 2-to-1 control points. Yes. So she is sneaky. By sneaky, I mean super sneaky. She has ambush, so she can be chosen not to deploy the model at the start of the game. If you don't do that, you can put it in play at the end of any of your control phases after your first turn. When you do so, you choose any table edge except the back. Place the model completely within 3 inches of the chosen table edge.
That's a proper got you moment, I guess, which is quite nice.
Absolutely, it is. Yes, really. As expected, Madrok's going to be aggressive,
And to be fair, he may have actually opening the gate to give on, but certain.
see, was checking the range for his Pyro Troll.
Mm-hmm.
Those rolls are darn nice.
Yeah, they're really cool. And the Pyro Troll, it is a range 10 rate of fire 2 or 12 fire attack. So if it hits it, it's going to catch on fire, and they can get a couple shots in. So they have some nice flexibility with being able to throw fire. Oddly enough, his own claws don't catch on fire unless he uses his animus on himself.
See here, shoots the eliminators, deviates only 1, a boosted damage roll kills it. So, pew pew pew.
Yep. I was asked what table is Corey on, so on
Corey's on
table 1.
Do we have a quick look through all those tables?
peek.
Let's do that. Let's take a gander.
Ooh, a goosey.
Well, it is Canada Team Goose.
That's true.
So I suppose it is correct to take a gander.
Seems like a good choice.
It certainly is. So here on table 1, we've got Corey with Ragnar and the Trollbloods versus Svea with Kalissa. Excuse me, Kalissa 1 and Retribution.
Right.
Well, and Corey has chosen to brick, right? So
Yes,
everything
he
is
has.
pulled in together, and Ragnar is gonna buff everyone up and hit nice and hard, as well as a really nice screen. And then Kalissa, so Sphere over there has them split into a 2-prong attack, looking to see if they can take out some stuff at the edges. It looks like we're
Should be back.
getting some movement figured out.
Yeah, it's always interesting to watch the troll players. When they run that box and how
Yeah.
everything kind of feeds off everything around it.
Yeah, yep.
It is tough to crack.
Say it's a tough cookie to crack.
I've never tried cracking a cookie.
Well, I was thinking Cookie Monster. He's almost like a troll.
Sure.
Pretend that was funny. That's table 1.
I thought it was great.
That's-
That was great.
Move on over to table number 2 here, where we have got
Right.
John versus Jonas, Madrak 3 with the Trollbloods.
And just like on table 1, these guys are not using the digital clocks that we have for scoring and time. So we will check in on them in a little bit to get updates on the scoring. But for now, we're just taking a cheeky peeky at the status of the battlefield.
Yeah, the players are allowed to not use the timers and the clocks and stuff because whilst it's useful for us, we don't want to impede their game. Introducing that extra element can sometimes be quite annoying to players, particularly in these high pressure situations. So we're thankful if they do want to use them, but also don't begrudge them if they don't.
Yeah. So
Right.
it looks like John's got himself split into 2 fronts, whereas Jonas is also more or less into 2 fronts, but with
A heavy on one side.
yeah.
Yet it's gonna be
Nailed it.
I
Well
can
done.
draw.
quite well, Ben. Quite well.
Oh dear, I can draw. Yeah, so we've got that. We'll check back in with
And
it.
that's just gonna be it. When they finally meet up
It's gonna be
towards the
nasty.
middle, it's gonna just be a
A
slaughterhouse.
pile on in the middle.
Yeah.
It's just going to take that time. But like, I assume in 20 minutes yet before we see something going straight into the center here.
Yeah, everybody's setting themselves up for what's to come.
They're playing chicken at this.
True.
You go first. No, you go first. No, you go.
Right, and that's kind of what it comes down to. Who is?
Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely fair. And then
who's gonna,
table number 3, we've got Matthew with
right with Karchev 2.
Yep.
We've seen a lot of Karchev 2 this weekend.
Yeah, it's just nice to see some yellow cater. What is that? The Northern Border Guard or something like that? I can't remember which.
I know
which
the.
flavor that one is.
Yeah, I can't remember which one the yellow is. I know the 5th Border Legion is the green and red.
Yeah,
do they have to go to the toilet on their own time?
pretty much. Because there's only so much time left in a round
Yeah,
anyway.
of course.
So
So if you want a drink or the toilet or anything, you either prepare before the game or you do it on your
or
own time.
I mean, you can discuss it with your opponent. Like if you both have to run,
Right,
then-
like last round,
but
they-
you can
they
still
agreed.
end up getting clocked out for overall time.
Yeah, I'm just a bit confused because maybe they switch sides, so their clock is running opposite. So actually, mine has 49 minutes, whereas Matthew has 30 left. That's by the looks of it.
Right.
Or they just called the game.
Hmm.
That could very well be a possibility as well. All right, moving on to our table 4 here.
Yeah, we'll get an update on table 3 here in a bit when the judge is returning.
Table 4, we've got
More Karchev.
we've got Boulder 2 and then Karchev 2 going at it. This is the wonderfully numbered set of jacks that we've got going on. There's quite a few of them.
This one feels like a lot of bodies against very few bodies.
Yeah, but you can't discount any Kador jacks.
Oh goodness, no.
Especially anytime you've got a juggernaut on the table, it is going to hurt. I have had my caster assassinated by a jack that was able to get through a sneaky lane a couple of times.
Well, and you have Karchev leading them.
So on his feet, they're going to be even scarier.
Mm-hmm.
So, what makes the jacks so devastating compared to other stuff?
Giant steam-powered robots of destruction, right? And then your Kador ones are all heavies.
Right.
They don't have lights. Kador just doesn't believe in small things.
And so they usually have a lot of armor.
Yeah. So
And
they're
they're
incredibly
cheap.
hard to take out. And they usually have at least, one of their ranged or one of their melee attacks hits really hard. And while they tend to be a slower army, if you can give them momentum, that could be absolutely catastrophic.
Yeah, it's a lot of boxes to remove with as high as their armor is.
Yeah, they're just pausing there to do the timer, I think. Do some scoring.
Excellent.
Perfect. And
Back to our main table.
Yeah.
Anything new from Christoph?
Magic shuffled and then forgot to defeat.
we do have
He is
Finish on
looking at
table
how to do
3.
damage control at this
Seriously?
Well, I mean, it looks like Martin's packing up all of his toys.
He is. We'll have to see if Josh can let us know what happened.
All right. Okay. I'm just gonna mute John so he can receive the information. And we're back to table 5 here. Pretty prominent.
Good.
It's like Martin was able to take the victory. We're getting more information soon, but for the moment, table 3, yes.
Table 3.
Victory in favor of Norway.
Oh wow!
And-
Right.
and-
Okay.
Did we find out what happened, or
Not yet. There's
Okay.
going to be some more information coming.
it was that's a quick win? Whatever happened.
Oh, he got the 5 points almost instantly. Apparently.
I see. One Fellblade is once again claiming the flag. Magic just was able to snag 2 points. So that is definitely going to keep the momentum in his favor. So
It definitely
now Charles has to answer.
Yeah, it puts the pressure on Charles here to be able
Right,
to respond.
Yeah, their time is really close.
Right. So what bottom do you want?
Whew.
So at the bottom of turn 2.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
You can't hear me.
Can't hear you, Ben. I can hear John.
Yep. So bottom of 2, Martin was able to score those 5 points like almost immediately and just
Wow.
took it on scenario. So we got some repositioning going back over here over to Gordon. He is gonna want to get in there and disrupt this brick.
Trying to break it up.
Well, he's yeah, because he doesn't want that getting anywhere near him.
Oh no.
I mean, to a certain extent, he might kind of want them in range of the drillers, but ideally, he doesn't want the whole brick coming at him.
Definitely.
So if he can find a way to pepper it down a little bit.
If we're at the bottom of turn 2 on table 3, and you score, if you go second, right, you can't hear me either. Oh. If we're at the bottom, it would help if I unmute the microphone.
Good
if,
job, Ben.
Yes.
If we're at the bottom of turn 2, right, and you can score 5 points, I assume that means you go second. Because you can't score
Yeah.
turn 1, right?
Yep. Correct.
So it's just some really clean play there on table 3 from Martin.
Yep. And Matt just didn't have an answer for it.
Yeah, I'd like to have seen exactly how that played out. Grabbing 5 points on one turn is.
Oh, I'm sure we'll get some flavor here. I might be able to get Martin to pop over for a moment to tell me how he pulled it off.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, the thing is, knowing this could be the final game, it's a really solid morale boost to the rest of the team Norway, and potentially a morale deficit here for Canada. But it's crazy. How do you go from the bottom of 2 to get 5 points? That's crazy.
It looks like we are bringing Martin over to talk to us. Hello there.
Hi.
So you finished up already. Can you tell everyone watching who you are and what the heck did you do to win that game?
So I'm Martin. I play Circle for Team Norway Munin. And so basically, he only had one model contesting his flag, and I got the lucky scatter. So it was I scattered in one, so I killed that one model. So basically, went that I could go 5-0 on that turn because I only needed to kill one Kayase and the objective with my Stalker, which had wild aggression, so additional die to hit and primal. And then I just needed my Puppet Mastered Loki to pull out the heavy, and then I got the 5 points. So I was a bit lucky with the scatter, but I could also hit him if I rolled 6 or 2, I think. So it wasn't that unlikely.
So was this just a really good matchup for you, or
No, it's a horrible matchup. It's the
it
worst
just
I
happened to
could
work
face.
out good for you?
Yeah, because the matchup is already usually bad against Karchev. Karchev in Kadar, but the issue was that he also had the Def Archon, which really skews his armor to the next level.
Yeah.
So I can't really go through that shit.
Wow.
And he also can like protect from Loki with the guys who can't be pulled in the front. So yeah, it was some small mistakes for him that cost him the game. Like I think even if I won 4 points that turn, I would lose the game.
No kidding.
Wow. So it was 5-0 there.
Yeah, I think like 4 points gave me an option to win, but I think it would be very hard still.
Now, when you were deciding what the matchups were going to be, is this one that you wanted, or was the team telling you that you're taking it no matter what on this one?
Yeah, because they chose the pairing in the end, and like we had to choose either me or one other that it got a really bad matchup, so it was me. So
Okay.
But I at least got a good table, so I could work with that somehow. But
Yeah.
it seemed hard. He had a very good position, other than those 2 small mistakes.
Well, you've come out on top and granted a solid 1-0 up, and this could be the final that we're looking at right here, depending what happens on table 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
That must feel really good to take that win that early and give that confidence boost.
So we need 2 more wins from your teammates here, and then we see what happens in the Australia game in the room next to us.
Yeah. They won like 19 of the games, so they're probably winning that one, I think.
They're a
But
very good team. I
yeah,
mean, you never know. France is coming
yeah,
off a tough battle with the Canadian team that you're playing against now.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
it was a 3-2. They
Mm.
barely lost that one, but
Yeah, and I also think that French team had very good lists, so they might be able to do some things.
yeah. But that Australian team is very good.
Yeah,
They're a juggernaut.
absolutely. We've faced the other Australian team, and they were quite good players as well.
Yeah.
So say Norway come out victorious here over Canada. How do you feel going into Australia potentially in round 6?
I don't want to say too much, but it's going to be
Don't say anything if you
it
don't
be a
have to.
hard matchups. They have very good lists,
Right.
and they seem to have very good players as well. So we have to fight hard, but we have good players, and I have faith that we can do it.
Good.
Perfect.
We did it before.
Very good.
Yeah, yeah.
How
you
many
can
times have
definitely
you
do it
won
again.
the WTC?
I won last time in 2019 only, and three of the players went second 2 years before that.
Okay. So you guys have a lot of experience at this
Yeah,
and successful experience.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, pretty successful.
Good. Good. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate you joining us, and I know we'll give you a couple of minutes to decompress and see how the rest of this round goes for your teammates.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Good luck.
joining us. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Martin. I really appreciate you joining us here, being able to talk through a little bit more about that decisive victory and almost
Right.
out of nowhere on table 3.
Yeah, that's what
Super
it kind
good.
of sounds like. Is if he doesn't win on that turn, he doesn't win, and that's coming from Martin himself. So it's crazy to think like that. And it sounded like Marc Andre made a couple of mistakes, just little things, and it cost him the game on that turn.
Yeah, I mean,
And
gotta
I-
sound different. The pressure that you can sometimes feel on these tabletops is
definitely.
is can get to you.
And
It can just twist your mind a bit.
I can only imagine how disappointed Marc Andre is right now because I know what a great player he is too. I mean, all of these guys are great players. So to make a couple of little stumbles there and allow 5 points to be scored on one turn, that's honestly it's kind of unheard of. It just doesn't happen. So, but that's why these players are here. They're playing the games. They're playing at a high level.
I mean, he says he got lucky on a scatter, but part of that is putting yourself in a position to make that chance,
It
but
is.
also putting your opponent or your opponent putting themselves in a position where that becomes a possibility.
And it sounded like he still had he not gotten a little lucky. It sounded like he still had a few reserve.
Activating Gorton, feet.
John jumping back in now with some updates on table 5.
Yeah, he was measuring for the feet. Did he actually?
Yep, and
yeah.
he's doing the other option I was kind of hoping for, which he's pulling him in so those drillers can go to work.
Yeah, he pulled him in, and he catches 9 models inside Gordon's feet.
Wow.
That's a substantial amount of models there, and I mean, when you're looking at trolls, there are quite a few models, but 9 is still a hefty number to be able to pull into where you want them, right?
How
Yeah.
far in does he pull them?
3?
Up to 8 inches.
Up to 8
So
inches.
Wait,
whatever number he declared. But it looks like he went for very specific range. We'll have to see if Christoph is able to give us the exact
And
number later.
He
But
pulls them in 8.
he chose in. Yeah,
Okay.
It
It
was
could have went
5,
either
I
way.
think.
he could have gone any direction. Yeah,
Okay.
I
he
think
could have gone left, right, back, forward.
he chose 5 by the looks
Okay.
of it.
Yeah.
Because
That seems reasonable.
That's the majority of stuff that Charles was rolling. So do you have to, when you do that, you declare how many inches you want to move?
Up to 8.
And why would you not always choose 8?
Because you don't want necessarily things too close to Gordon.
Okay. Yeah. You don't always
You
want
just-
stuff too close to Gorton.
No, you want it in range of where you can do what you want to get done, but you don't want to give him too much advance.
Of course. Oh, I'm in a different headset now. I keep swapping between them because it's actually clearer for them to hear me
I
and
see.
hear us
Yeah.
if I use this headset.
Yeah.
So we've just sent Doug away on a merry journey to room number 2 to check out what's happening in the Australia-France match because
Yeah.
obviously keeping an eye on that table and,
Yeah,
and
'cause if that determines whether or not, as you said, this is the final game, or if the victor
Yeah.
here goes on to face Australia. Australia's been the Australia team, the Frilled Lizards over there have been incredibly strong all weekend. So there is every reason to believe that we will go to a 6th round, but France is
Formidable opponent.
quite,
Yeah.
especially if Florian's dice luck is held out.
Oh,
That is always going to be a factor.
The thing is, we saw what they could do into this Canadian team, and
Yep.
barely losing, only being eked out by let's be honest,
By a clock.
a clock.
Yeah.
It was the clock on table 3, I think, that caused the downfall. Otherwise, we'd be sitting watching France.
It was on table 1 when they were over here, but yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yep.
So, those sort of little bits, hopefully they can take away from their defeat here and move that into their game against Australia. Obviously, sometimes you can't avoid that. You have to react to certain things and now and then, which makes you run down your clock, yada, 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 all that sort of extra little bits.
Yep. Lich is activated,
So,
killing more Fen Blades.
yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, you pull them in,
Yep.
let's get rid of them. You can see,
Yep.
you can start to see that down here on the bottom side of the map, there was a small brick, wasn't there?
Yeah, and then you moved him up. Gordon pulled him in with the feet, and
Yep.
now he's just picking them off.
Yep. Choose one, get rid. Choose another, get rid.
Gatsby is going after Boom Howler.
Okay. And what are the control points currently? 3-2 in Norway's favor. Cuba must be feeling pretty
I think he
comfortable.
means Asphyxious, but
Oh, fair play.
nope, not gonna. Doesn't go for the counter strike.
Oh, he has the option to counter strike there, does he?
Boom Howler, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just reading a bit of the play-by-play coming in from Christoph over there. To like, it definitely very much helps explain why we're seeing which dice we're seeing,
Of course, yeah.
because we can't always see which model's being targeted.
And
Boom Howler's gone. All right.
oh, gets rid of what abilities has that reduced? Oh, sorry, removed.
A lot of
from
heavy hitting.
Cuba's?
A lot of heavy hitting.
Okay. So from obviously the feet.
So
have been
basically
popped.
a threat, right?
Yeah, of course.
Right, and just another ability for either his objective to get destroyed or to have it contested.
Yeah.
And, potentially a model that could have run up on Gordon and smacked him in the face.
Yes. Well, you've got Nemo at the back there, facing down those pyros. Sorry, at the top there.
The Pirate Trolls, yep.
Yep. That are
6
currently,
damage on
I
the
guess,
first attack there.
on the objective, which is quite nice. So they're just trying to keep it nice and safe.
Yep.
And yeah, there's just a slew of damage coming out from Gorton's lines.
Well, yeah,
there.
he's trying to take out the bomber there. Just seeing what we've got going on here. It looks like they're just discussing who's in range. Okay, here we go.
When you're rolling 1s and 2s, that's not amazing there, Charles.
Not so good.
Oh,
I mean,
there's another one.
trolls can be easy to hit, but you have to do a lot of damage to take them out.
Because they've got a
So
substantial health
6
pool.
another damage in the next attack with the booster. It comes into 16 in total against the bomber.
Doesn't take it out yet.
Just talking through, deciding where the next attack is coming from and how it's going in.
I mean, there's just going to be an onslaught from Charles here, right? Like, it's going to be attack.
Well,
having brought them all in with
I mean,
Gorton's feet.
Yeah, I mean, and he has to because he spent the feat, so he wants to get as much out of it as possible. And because he chose to pull him forward, he definitely wants to make sure as much of that as possible is a kill, because he doesn't want to leave them in position to answer.
Yeah.
Right. He did reduce their speed though with his feet, etc. But there's still ways for them to become a problem. So he's going to get this driller in there, using the back of the base to make sure the measurements are correct, and then flipping him around.
I was going to say, yeah, get him in there, get him doing the damage. This is an opportunity. Capitalize on that. Get rid of those 9 models. We've already seen the majority of what he pulled in here has been eviscerated from the tabletop.
Well, yeah, because so that bomber's gone, the eliminators killed a Fen Blade, and now he's in there with the driller trying to take out a few more.
And this is the turn, right, for Charles to try and
Yeah, he wants
do what he
wants
can.
to get as much done as possible against everything he pulled in,
Yep.
and put himself in a position where he can score objectives, keep Gorton safe, and just make every decision that Kuba can make on his next turn as important as possible.
Yeah,
so
of
that
course.
there's has to be weighed very carefully what he's going to do.
So flag and objective markers,
Mm-hmm.
can you stand on them?
Generally, you're not on them because they are representing a 3D piece for the most part.
Right,
So
okay.
you have to be in base to base with a flag.
Yep.
The others you have to be within a certain distance of.
Cool. Just because I know in other games you can stand on them because they represent a point, not a thing.
Right.
Whereas in Warmachine they represent a thing.
Generally, yes.
Like maybe an
Yep.
objective is a glowing gemstone of power that you are trying to protect or
We
control,
like
I
having
guess.
stuff on the table.
Yeah, of course. But then a flag is an actual flag, and we got a report here from Doug.
Australian France games they're all within 1 point of each other, except for James Morehouse has a 2-point lead right now, but it's still.
Okay, so they're literally all within a point, except James, who has 2-1.
In Australia's favour.
And yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
Everybody's within 1 point of each other in there right now.
Damn.
James has a 2-point lead in this game.
It's close.
There's nobody in there that looks like the game is being dominated by one person.
They're all sweating a little bit then.
Everything close right now.
Wow.
so
Okay.
very close over on table 2, Australia versus France. So we'll have to keep an eye and see how that continues to develop.
And for anybody joining, the reason that's important is because
the
that
Jacks
decides
are-
if this is the last
Right.
round or not.
Counter-Strike says nothing. Other jacks block the line of sight to all the models. So that's the positioning we were talking about. And now he's activating everything up over here on his left, up at the top of the screen.
Yeah, just
to
measuring distance there
see
for Nemo.
what Nemo needs to get in position to do, because yeah, if you can take out 1 or 2 of those pirate trolls as well, that'll be fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, there is only 2 of them there, isn't there? So,
Yeah, and I mean, anytime you can whittle down the enemy battle group and just get yourself in a favorable position to either hold ground or take more objectives,
Mhm.
I mean, can't really argue with that.
of course.
So get Nemo into position. Who also brought back Chaos the Eliminator, so that we'll have a little bit more threat later on when we need that done, and then starting to shoot on the Pyre Troll.
Oh, Nemo can bring back stuff?
Or at least teleport them around the board. It kind
Ah.
of, so yeah, he's got a bit of fluff to him that he like moves people through gates.
That's cool. I like the maneuverability there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We did just get an update from Doug as well that table 1 here, Canada, Norway, is currently 1 control point apiece. And then table 2 is currently 0 control points apiece. So both sort of mild draws there between tables 1 and 2. Obviously, table 3 was an incredibly decisive victory for Norway. And then
11 damage in the 2 branch on the Pyre Troll. But yeah, so he had done an ability called Fold Space, which returns D3 smaller medium base friendly destroyed faction grunts into play. So basically, he's warping them back in.
nice.
7 damage to the 4 column.
Can you do that every turn?
So you have shifting powers on opening. Shifting powers. Choose one of the following effects at the start of this model's activation. So he can either Fold Space, right, and bring some guys back, or he can do what's called Spatial Vortex. Enemy models within 2 inches of him suffer a power 10 electrical damage roll. After that's resolved, you get to move him within 3 inches of where he currently is. So it's either a defensive move or bring back more dudes.
Power 10.
Yeah.
It doesn't say it's unboostable either.
No, just about anything can be boostable. It'll say unboostable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The majority of like the feet things and things like that
Yep.
that do damage seem to say unboostable on them.
Right, because it needs to be a static number so you can plan around it.
Yeah,
but
of
in
course.
this case, since it's,
It's an ability.
he gets a
Yeah.
move and an ability every turn, so it's going to be
Mm.
boostable.
That's lovely. The diversity there is
Assassin
super
kills
nice.
the Fenblade.
Yep, and then the Jacks are shooting the other Pyre Troll there. And then do six
Now he's
damage.
moving over here, activating the rest of his units. Get those done so he can wrap up his turn.
Nice and simple. I think they paused the clock for scoring. We can see the control points indeed have gone to 4-4. For the players here, it is a close match.
Yep. All right. So
And we're into
we've
Trollwood's turn.
done some damage to those trolls. Nothing that can't be healed or shaken off at the moment, but it really is going to come down to what opportunities Kuba creates for himself. Because I mean, again, he's still got a lot of trolls on the table. They are rather hard to kill, and they do hit really hard. So he's got a chance to cut himself a path to victory.
welcome back our roving reporter, Doug.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I did a quick check over on the Australia-France matchup, and everything's super tight right there right now. So hopefully we'll get a chance to run back over there in 10 minutes or so and get another update, because that's that game's also going to decide if we play another round or if either one of these teams are going to be crowned champion this turn or they advance to the next round.
Well, I would definitely love more Warmachine, as I think we all would. But also, at the same time, it would be nice for one of these teams to not have to play a 6th round to decide.
6 rounds is tough.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of intense gaming. Is it fun? Absolutely, but there is definitely some serious tension.
Yeah. We have indeed, Mops and Berserk, got Canada again for the second game today. That is because they were our top table this morning, and they repeatedly are our top table again today.
Well, and if they win this round and Australia wins, then we'll have them the 3rd time in a row.
Yeah, we will. We'll be able to see 3 sets of them, 3 different matchups.
But Norway is currently up by 1 point,
right?
As Table 3 was a quick win for them. Yeah,
it was like a 25-minute win, wasn't it?
Yeah, top of 2. Yep.
It was. I'd like to hear. I know he's not going to want to talk about it. I'd like to hear Mark Andre's version of what took place in
Warcry on the Fen Blades, getting them moved in.
It would be good to hear his thoughts on that, but I assume it's a bit of a sore point.
Yep, right now I'm sure it is.
Which is understandable by every
Yes,
sense.
I totally understand.
Scatter, hooray!
John just pulling in some information there from the
Both
tabletop
attacks
too.
miss. Trying to get him in there.
Oh, this one's 4-4. I walk away and there's
Yeah,
control
man,
points all over the place.
Yep. Charles was able to snag 2, and Kuba got 1 at the switch over of the
Nice.
turn here.
That's back and forth.
Well, it's kind of showing a bit of the tide of the battle swinging, after that massive Gorton feat turn and killing 7 out of the 9 things that he pulled in, I believe, there in the center of the board.
Helping out by holding the widget there.
Yeah, I think when I was walking away that he was feeding and
Eliminator
pulling in.
lives.
Sorry, John, go ahead.
Nope, was just saying that he's going to survive.
I was just noting that when I was walking away, Gorton had feeded and was pulling people in, and now I come back and
he got some work done.
he did get some work done. The brick is not as bricky.
No, it is half a brick.
He's turned the tide definitely in that one turn, into a more substantial position for himself. And now Cuba has to think about a bit more carefully about what he's doing. He can't just roam forward with that brick. He's got to make sure he takes casualties as little as possible.
And part of that measuring was he was being really careful about moving that the fell blade in there because he didn't want to trigger Watcher on Nemo, and he was just able to pull it off.
Watcher. Talk to me about Watcher,
So
John.
Watcher is once per turn when an enemy model advances and its movement within 6 inches of Nemo. You can choose a Warjack in that spellcaster's battle group that is in its control range, and that Warjack can immediately make a full advance toward the enemy model and then make a basic melee or ranged attack. And both the attack and damage rolls are boosted.
Ooh.
So it's a bit like a Sentinel sort of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of Overwatch. Yeah. But he was
Super
able
nice.
to just keep it out. And then we've got Magic putting Battle Lust on the champions. It's always nice because I can't read the tokens from here, so having Christoph over there is really nice.
It's super useful, isn't it? Give you guys a bit more in-depth detail about exactly what is going on. And I think being able to cover 5 tables and then have 1 featured table is great.
That was spicy roll.
I think that's worked out good. We were kind of evolving our approach.
Walking in with the champions, and now we're going to find out how that's going to turn out for him. So I've got some boxes getting some damage. Models immediately would not be able to attack because of the Gorton feat. That is still in effect until the end of Kuba's turn here.
That's just a terrible, destructive feat.
It's one of the reasons that Gorton has stood the test of time a bit, is that feat is just it completely changes the battlefield, and if you're not in an ability to pick yourself back up, so to speak, it can really hurt.
I have a friend that likes to play Gorton, so I faced him a few times, and it's not a fun matchup.
but those champions have done just enough damage to take the Cortex out of that Jack.
Nice.
So, not going to be able to spend any focus on that guy.
I can see a bunch of red dots. I just wasn't sure which Jack it was for. Crowd is having a good time today.
Yeah, and the crowd is consisting of like our head judges, so
Right.
they are being far too entertained by something over there. Kuba is absolutely taking his time. He's surveying pretty much all corners of the battlefield before deciding what to do, which
Looks
I
like
mean, you've got to do in this situation.
he's moving one of those Pyre Trolls up.
But it doesn't look like the pressure's really getting to him. Looks like they're actually just making sure to do what's going to work out, or at least try.
This is a small commentary on the Warmachine tournament in general.
Mhm.
The amount of judge calls that happen, and it's not out of a malicious nature from either player. It's simply out of understanding, right?
Right.
Like, nobody's like, well, this is happening, this. It's all very much a case of, we can't make a decision, and you please come and help us.
Yeah, and that's something that's been around with Warmachine for a long time, having a judge at the tournament to help make those calls, double checking a measurement, or if there's a template involved,
Or just, we believe the rule works this way. Is that correct
right.
or not?
And I think especially when you have players from different nations playing against each other, where
Yep.
might be slightly different interpretations.
Yeah, and it's really nice to see that all of these calls are not made maliciously.
Right. Well, and the
And
great
the-
thing about the Warmachine rules is they're very clean. So
yeah.
there's generally not much room for
Interpretation.
there's just not a lot of gray area in our game.
Sorry, John, what were you going to say?
Oh, nothing. I was just watching the Pirate Trolls basically miss.
Yeah, it didn't look like it went well.
Yeah, according to Christoph, he shoots a big hole in the sky.
Yeah, Pirates shoot big holes in the air. Yep.
Done.
Yeah. Ones and twos on things are not usually what you're looking for.
Cuba needs those dice from last round.
Right.
Yeah, it needs to go steal Florian's dice. Borrow Florian's dice.
Yes.
Yeah, borrow permanently. What happened on table 3, Snarky? We saw a bottom of round 2.
Top of 2.
No, it was bottom.
Was it
he
bottom?
Said,
Yeah.
he said
Okay.
bottom.
Well, it has to be bottom because you can't score
Yeah,
turn 1.
you're right. You're
Yep.
right.
It was a bottom turn 2 victory for Norway. A lucky scatter in one direction. Did have some contingencies if it didn't go off, but managing to claim objectives and just absolutely get those 5-point victories at the bottom of 2.
5 points in the bottom 2 that's an achievement. And he spoke with us briefly to tell us how it went. In his own words, he mentioned that
Madrak's feeding, putting up his aura.
Mandrak's feats are going to make everybody tougher.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, we're on the bottom of 3 here? No, the bottom of 3 now. It's Charles's turn. Or no, he's not clocked. So it'll be the top of 3, and there's only 4 points each. Snarky will really quickly nip on over to our table 3 just so I can get you these correctly. We had
It was Chromac versus Karchev.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
and Karchev and Kador, Chromac obviously in circle.
Yeah.
It was an unfavorable matchup for Chromac according to Martin, and he managed to pull it out of thin air and roll some lucky dice.
Yeah, I got the scenario objective on basically a 40% chance, which I was talking to one of the judges earlier. 40% is not as low as it sounds.
Nope.
A lot of people think like, oh, maybe I shouldn't, even try at 40%. No, take the shot because
You miss every shot you don't take.
yeah, and it's really only barely off 50-50. So
In actual fact, some people claim it's better than 50-50 just because,
Madrak just scored 2 more points. Yep.
We got 2 more?
Kuba.
Yep.
So now it is back to Charles. We're going to see him try to continue thinning out those trolls and rescore some of those objectives himself. On the plus side for Kuba, Gorton's feat is now no longer in effect.
That's good for
So-
him.
Yeah, it's good for him, and his feat is still in effect as Charles takes his turn.
Right. So he's still his troops are gonna not be able to be knocked down, and their tough rolls are on 4, 5, 6,
Mhm.
and they can make a 3-inch advance.
Enzo, if you do want to go and check out all the lists, I believe they are available to view on Tiebreak.
Yes. Tiebreak.co.uk, and then just literally, if you just type in Google WTC Tiebreak, it'll pull it right up.
Yeah, you'll be right there and right seeing what is happening. We do have 2 reports of victories for Australia on table 2 so far in Tiebreak.
Oh, wow.
So Jack and James both won their game in that matchup. So now France are trailing. They need to win the next 3 matches.
Why don't I run over and take a quick look and see
Let's see if there's
see if it's
what,
over.
what the level of hope is.
Yeah, see if it's even possible to have a round 6 or not. And there are 18 boxes left on those 2 Pyrotrolls.
Yeah.
Pyrotrolls, sorry.
So he's trying to basically take assassination out of the equation.
Okay. And for Charles, you mean? Sorry.
Yeah, Charles is looking to remove that possibility.
Okay, and what is the best way for him to do that? Is it just get those Pyrotrolls down?
He wants the Pirate Trolls gone because then he can move those resources to whittling down like the rest of the Fen Blades, etc. But right now the Pirate Trolls, I think, present the biggest threat. No pun intended. Kind of interesting. Yep. Want to get Nemo in there because you definitely want to have Nemo basically get that damage in there. Because while Nemo might not be able to take him out, it will get rid of a few more boxes. And that way, when you try to move in to clean up with your assassins or any of the other, eliminators or any of your other options, they have a better chance of actually boxing them out.
Yep, and just take a break for a moment while we have Doug give us the report from Table 2.
I am back from the Australia-France matchup, and after 3 games have finished, Australia is up 3-0.
There we go.
So we will be having a round 6, Australia, and the winner of this matchup for the championship.
First Pirate Troll is gone. So, yep.
Crazy.
So
Not a surprise based on that Australia team, though. They are truly a juggernaut.
Yeah, they definitely got the powerhouse behind them, and we'll be able to see that in play here
Right.
next. I don't know what the timings will be for round 6 if we get it. Is it 15 minutes after the round 5?
I
generally, yeah.
think so.
Okay.
So we'll definitely have Australia in here for another live stream on round 6 against the winner of this Canada-Norway game.
Yep. And in theory, that'll be kicking off at 3:45.
Cool.
So in a little under an hour.
So the shield guards here from Gorton managed to, with the second shot, and do 4 damage into the Pyrotrolls.
Yeah.
Trying to lift them. And
The remaining fire, yeah.
yeah, and the Jack also going for it. I think we're basically going to see Charles put everything in his army one by one until that is gone. And
Or
got it out of the way.
At least everything that has the ability to get at it.
Yeah, of course. 7 damage. There's only 2 boxes left on that troll. That Pyre troll there. It's being shredded, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it's what he needs to do. It's
Of
it's
course.
the play to make here.
And
Because
are we losing
then-
Pyre Trolls?
We've
Yep.
lost one already. This is the last one with only 2 boxes left. And
Oh, no.
I think we're waiting for a Jack to shoot at it.
7 damage. It's not 2 bucks. We already got that. And yep, just figuring out what options he has and what's going to be the best one to take. Looking at control ranges. Doing a little triangulation there. Yep, looks like it's going to be within range. He's going to go ahead and commit.
So, attack rolls and then damage rolls, right?
Yep.
Yes.
What's the difference between the 2 of them? Because obviously,
So attack rolls are going to make sure you're going to hit.
Right. You have to
Right.
meet your target's defense.
So you've got to meet the defense. If you do, it's a hit. If you beat it by 5, there are some abilities that will crit and
Yep.
have a critical effect.
plus,
And then after that, you resolve damage.
which is power versus.
So yeah, he does activate Kalbalik and goes for the pyre, but misses. Yeah. As Doug points out, I'm an idiot. It's not beating it by 5. It's doubling.
And I had to double check because we're in the middle of, well, we've been
The
on Mark
shift to
4
Mark
rules
4,
for
yeah.
a while, and
Mm-hmm.
so we do confuse things and
All right.
different versions of different rules. So.
Hits the troll, and there goes the
Yeah.
second pirate troll.
Okay, so that assassination attempt is wildly out of place, like out of contention now. Now the trolls have gone, unless they manage to break through or find a line through with the normal trolls, right?
I mean, it's still an option. Like
It's just-
Fenblades and
yeah.
others are they're not a joke by any means.
No, but it's not as easy. I say easy. It's a harder path to victory than it would be if you had those pirate
No,
trolls.
and this is going to deny the range that the pirate trolls
Yeah.
had, right? Which were much more of a threat to Gordon than some of what's left on the table.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Getting everything into position, moving stuff around. Proxies to measure movement.
All right. Whilst they just doing that last little bit of movement here for Charles and Gorton, I think we should take a quick look across the table spread to see what we've got going on. Table 1, we've seen Ragnar Kaelissa going at it. They've managed to meet in the middle there, and now we've got a melee going on with the 2 bricks, which is quite cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And we knew this was going to happen. They were going to dogpile in the middle and beat each other up.
Sounds like a great game.
It can be.
All right, and then look. So we see all these auras and smoke on the table as Magic and Gearhart trying to gain the upper hand, but there's still a lot of bases on the table on both sides.
Right, and this tabletop looks just the opposite of table 1. Like they look spread out.
Spread out, choosing their engagements.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see what our control points are on those tables.
Last was checked. It was a 1-1 on table 1 and a 0-0 on table 2.
Right. I checked that about 10 minutes ago.
Oh, we got a handshake on table 5.
Oh.
We knew Charles was doing good.
He went for the assassination, pulled it off.
Wow. Well,
that is it.
That moves it to a 1-1 tie between Canada and Norway.
Closer.
Go for that assassination and pull it off. It can.
Yeah, that's crazy. I knew he was in good shape, and I knew he was moving in a position. I didn't realize he was going for the assassination.
Victory for Madrak. Yep.
That's great.
Wait, for Madrak?
That's what...
For Gorton. Wait. No, it's Gorton.
It's got to be for Gordon.
It's got to be for Gordon.
It's got to be.
Yeah. Yep. I think it was just assassination on Madrak, and it was just a fluke of a typo.
Right. Because when we strolled away, Charles was in good shape and still activating.
I mean, we want to just pop over there real quick. I mean, that's what it's got to be, but...
Well, I'm finding out right now.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
Gotcha.
We have our eye in the sky.
We've got feet. I was gonna say feet on the ground. Completely opposite to eye in the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Gorton victory right
just
there.
Just seeing if we were paying attention. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so you deny that set, like the assassination attempt there, by getting rid of those pyro trolls quite nicely.
Yep, and then take one for yourself.
And then take one for yourself. It's just a double down there.
Yeah. When the trolls are gone, there's nothing he can transfer to, so he eats whatever he gets hit with.
Thank you so much, Christoph, for bringing all that information to us. That's quite a summary there and quite a quick finish over on table 5, to be fair.
Christoph is going to have carpal tunnel from typing so much so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has given us a lot of information. I guess we'll move over to table 4 now. We'll move down the row.
That's where we're able to recheck in on that one. And I'm doing a quick count here. We've got 1, 2, 3. So we've still got what looks like 3 Juggernauts and 1, 2, 3. Still have 3 Devastators over there on
there's still
on
a lot
Jakob's side.
A lot of armor.
Well, I mean, those Devastators provide a really great screen for everything else. And
Absolutely.
then once he puts those Juggernauts into play, you should probably be making a fist with your intestines.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're big, they're beefy, they're red. They're definitely going to go through you as hard as they can. What?
Right.
like curry through a toddler.
Thank you. You said it, not me. Do you like that one?
I really
That's
do.
a good one.
Yeah, I really do.
Okay, yeah, it's definitely
So
a
we've got-
visceral image.
So we've got a point for Norway and a point for Canada. So we just got to see how these other 3 games shake out.
We're looking like a pretty solid lead here for Canada, 5-2 on table 4, but you never know, an assassination could come in super handy
Or
here.
just he could commit those juggernauts and make everything pain.
Most definitely, yeah, most definitely.
Baldur 2 is such a like I was saying earlier, it's such a fun choice here though, because of the circle casters, I think he has. I was talking about his feet earlier and some of the other things that he brings to the table,
Yep.
and I think this is just a really great matchup.
Has the capability to do some work on both sides here.
Yeah.
Is awesome. And then table 1 and 2. Corey not looking too happy at the moment. Bless him. He's
That's just the beard.
It's just Corey. He had to wear pants today.
oh, I was gonna say I can see his knees.
Yeah, they're not long pants, but he had to wear some pants this time.
I don't know if Baldur's already used his feet. I'd be surprised if he has, just because Cater hasn't moved into a threat range yet in
Yep.
that regard. But as I mentioned, it basically grants everything in his control area, Roots of the Earth, which prevents his models from. It gives him +3 armor, right? So it makes him harder to do damage to, and they can't be knocked down, and they can't move or be placed. So they can't be like picked up, moved around, any of that kind of stuff. They're like, we're gonna stay right here, and you're gonna have to deal with it.
Oh, speaking
Ooh.
of which, here we go.
Here
There
they
we
come.
go.
Yeah. Jacks are moving in.
I'm the juggernaut.
Juggernaut.
Truth. 4s, 5s, and a 1 here on these damage rolls. There's a considerable amount of damage, and the players using the war room map to track their pips.
Yes, exactly.
Doesn't look like there's quite a lot left here on that particular target. I can offer you a pencil. You're good. Wonderful. Awesome. Well, we are seeing the Jacks going in pretty crazy here. Maybe we could get an update from tables 1 and 2 as well at some point while John leaves the table. Hopefully gonna go and
Give us some updates.
yeah, get hold of our table 5 Victor here.
Ah, that's what he's up to.
He's skulking. He's trying to find somebody else to do his job.
Well, this is the only time he can do that because back at HQ, he is the only one.
Well, it's 3-2, sorry, on table 1 in favor of Norway.
Okay.
3 control points to 2. And then we're just getting an update from table number 2 here. 2-0 for Canada on table number 2. So
John is up 2-0.
it very much could come down to a final match here to see if they can. Maybe Canada can eke another 3-2 victory to take on Australia.
Yeah, well, John was the one that won the deciding game last round, so it's possible he does it again.
There is definitely that potential. Yeah, definitely that potential. Six minutes left on Norway on table 1 and 26 minutes left for Canada.
Corey's got a lot of time left.
He does. Which is why he's probably not sweating too much, right? Because he can get in those control points.
Yes, exactly. We're getting more updates. John is
Yep.
feeding us some information from table 2.
11 minutes. Okay, yep. 11 minutes for Norway. And 33 minutes left
Wow.
for Canada. Oh, my word. They're both in a really advantageous position there. Both the Canadians on tables 1 and 2 to just play their game and potentially just clock their opponent out, you know?
Yeah, and a win's a win, right? I'm sure they'd love an assassination or control points, but if their opponent clocks themselves out, as we've seen a number of times this weekend.
You get extra. You get 30 control points extra or something for assassinating your opponent.
Oh, I don't.
Is that what I've
know if-
seen on
I don't-
tiebreak?
There might be some kind of tiebreak rule
Some
like that.
crazy-
I'm not familiar with all of the tiebreaker rules.
Maybe it's just how they manage to sort it out on tiebreak.
Yeah, it might just be a scoring thing, just for tiebreak.
Yeah. Oh, that might be VPs actually. I get extra VPs.
Yeah, I think they look at your points. They look at how many points in models that you killed, and I think that's one of the tiebreakers.
Right. Okay. Never mind. Yes, it would be points then. Not that. That's yeah. Which is super interesting, actually.
Interesting. I was just told that 2 years ago Australia won. Last year Norway won, maybe because Australia couldn't attend. And it sounds like a lot of people in the community would like to see that matchup. So,
Well, we've got to see if Norway can beat Canada. Yeah, I reckon it's going to come down to what we're seeing here on table 4. To be honest with you.
yeah.
Sorry, on tables 1 or 2, because I reckon I have a sneaking suspicion Jakob's going to be able to just power through with his jacks here for Kador and get an assassination potentially, and then it'll come down to either table 1 or 2 to see what can happen. But it's
Yeah, it looks like another judge call over at table 2. They've had a few issues on that table today. I don't know if the train's a little funky or it's just that tense of a matchup.
Yeah, I mean, they're all playing for the win here, aren't they? They're just trying to work out. I
Absolutely.
think it's because of all of these smoke effects or AoE circles and stuff on the tabletop from both players.
It definitely creates issues.
Just checking for line of sight and things like that.
So it looks like we have our head judge, Josh Jordan, one of my locals from St. Louis, out
Oh,
here
nice.
judging the games. So
Experienced enough to crack on with it, which is great.
I see Josh about once a year at home, and I've seen him all weekend here.
Perfect.
Thousands and thousands and thousands of miles away.
Yeah, convenience, hey?
It's funny. Funny how it works.
So it's amazing what brings us all together, isn't it?
Truly does.
All right, and then we've got Corey playing Sphere here on table 1.
Right, back to Corey with his beard and mustache tokens.
Yeah, those bricks did smack into each other in the center of the
They
table
totally
pretty
did.
hard, didn't they?
Yeah, and it doesn't look like either of them gave ground. It looks like they're still piled in. And honestly, this game looks like it's just who's going to roll the better dice to beat the hell out of each other.
And it'll go one of 2 ways. It will either go Canada's or Norway's. I can tell you that for a fact.
That's true. I actually, Ben, you're catching on really quick. I like this. I like the insight.
Yeah,
you've
the
developed.
idiocy that comes through that you can see me.
I feel like you're fitting in perfectly with us, or maybe it's us fitting in perfectly with you.
Oh, I'm gonna have to get this. I've literally just put this headset back on. I'm gonna have to give it back to John because he has returned.
John
I was
was quick to come
pilgrim from
back.
the other room or wherever he went to.
Looks like we have. The judge forgot his tools on the table.
Anywhere nice, John?
I was just checking the tables, and then I had to go to the
Table. Yep.
other room.
Got it.
Yes, right.
Got it. I didn't know if you were nipping next door to see if it was going to be a 5-0 sweep for Australia or a 3-2 claw victory.
I'd have to double check, but last we heard, I think Australia had one loss on the weekend.
Yeah, they had out of 20 games, they'd lost 1.
Right. And so now we're at 20. What is it, round 5 right now? So
Kind of crazy how 20 games lost 1 and still aren't in the top 2, but that's the algorithm for you, right?
yeah.
Well, it's also going to factor in things like control points, total leading into victory points, your strength on schedule.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, strength of schedule can be a big decider in this sort of tournament, can't it? I mean, like in terms of where you rank. So maybe what they've done is they've purposely played weaker opponents, right? They've just gone, let's override the algorithm. Let's choose some slightly weaker teams so we can bring our SOS down so that round 5 we can play a pair down and hope to win.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Clearly not what happened.
Yeah.
I'm taking the mic.
No, no,
Sorry.
I know what you're doing. I know these guys would love to be playing undefeated teams every round, duking it out.
That
Oh,
is how you get better.
absolutely. Oh, I feel like our breeze just finally started back up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Oh, oh, that's gorgeous.
So the room we're in it gets a little warm with 13, 14, 15 of us in here, depending on what time.
Judges and
Yeah, the judges.
15 of us. It's like 3 monitors, a computer, all the cameras, all
And
that
they-
sort of stuff.
And I think they have the heat on.
They do.
Of course they do. You know,
'Cause
this
it's their cold season here.
global climate crisis and
Right.
whack the heating on.
So we have both doors open, and all weekend we've had really great breeze, a cool breeze coming through. And today it was a little dead, and so now it just started up, and it's pleasurable.
Super nice. We can see Jakob has his little block marker down there to remove his first of the jacks going down as he tanks out all of the wounds on it.
Yeah, he's definitely pushed forward.
Yeah.
All those jacks are across the middle of the table now, or at the middle of the table.
whereas Karchev is just hanging back, waiting his turn,
Right, lingering.
being terrifying.
And also terrified of getting assassinated.
Which is funny because, like, for me anyway, because as I've mentioned before, I'm absolutely terrible. Me, if I'm playing Karchev with a list like this, I just want to run in and just see how much I can
Right.
rack. Right? Like, I don't have the patience to hold an army like this in reserve.
Right, I just want to barrel in.
Yeah. Which is why I'm not at a top table at the WTC.
It's why we're sitting here, John.
It's why we get to commentate instead of
Right.
compete.
We got to tell people what not to do.
Right. Like, don't do as I say or as I do.
Just do you, boo.
Yeah.
That's what we
Do
should be
smart
saying.
things instead.
Be smart. Don't be like us. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Fair play.
don't be like me. Because Doug's an even better player than I am.
And I'm a bad player.
I don't know what that's for you, John.
Yeah. It's just don't be me. Unless you can be me, then absolutely be me. Because everything else is pretty great.
Right.
You are pretty great, my dude. You are
That's what I
great.
said. I may not be
Right?
good at Warmachine, but things aren't bad.
No, I do all right.
Not too bad at all. John, we're working right now
Right? This is my life.
in
Wah.
Blankenberg.
Wah. Yeah. Like I said, I'm immensely privileged to be here, and I don't pretend that it's anything else.
Yeah, I kind of know how our fortune is good right now.
Yep.
For what we're
Yep.
doing. And then the terrible part is when I do finally go home,
Mhm.
I have to sculpt Warmachine models,
I know.
and you have to
And
get ready
what
for
a
Warfare
shame.
Weekend.
Yeah. It's literally, is the work like difficult sometimes? Like do you want to take a good nap after getting all that work done? Absolutely. But you don't ever feel bad about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And
You don't ever feel bad that that's what you have to wake up and do in the morning.
Yeah, there's many times on a Sunday night where I'm like, oh yeah, Monday morning I get to work on this next new project.
Well, yeah, and some of those products are pretty exciting.
Very exciting. I'm anxious to share some of the new stuff we have coming out.
Soon.
You had another call of the judge to table 2.
Mhm. Maybe we can nip over there real quick, see what he's measuring. I'm just looking at where applicable smoke is going and removal of rings, because that way an impartial person is doing it and can reset the game state as
Yeah.
appropriate.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I mean, there's so many of these little markers and rings on the
Well,
table.
especially because it's caught on one of the models, so
Right.
making sure it gets put back fairly.
Yeah, okay. Okie dokie.
And this
There we
is
go.
this is a game where literally every measurement, every little
Teeny little bit matters.
yeah.
Every millimeter, we would say, counts.
Yes.
Our judge has walked away victoriously.
Josh is the champion at Operation in the United States. Able to remove.
Josh
those.
might as well
I
pull up
know-
a chair
I know
next to table
last
2 at
when
this
I,
point.
When I checked in on John and Jonas, Jonas did not have a lot of time left, so
Okay.
we'll see how that's going to go here.
Yeah, I think the other tables are starting to run into some time issues too. I saw one had about 11 minutes left on each side.
Yeah. Yeah, that's over on table 4, where they were getting down to their last 10 minutes.
Yeah, there we go. I mean, Mark,
there we
Marcus already
Don't fumble the tape measure.
Right.
already down to 10 minutes. Just out of curiosity, if
Yeah.
for whatever reason, say you do drop your tape measure and you knock like 8 or 9 models out of their positions,
Then you get a judge.
Yeah, pretty much.
I assume, obviously, if we have videographic evidence of where they are supposed to be, we could always look back at it and help them. But in a
We could
normal game,
Possibly, but it has to. But the fidelity has to matter, and realistically, you're really hoping not to make a mistake like that because
Yeah,
it
let's-
can impact whether or not the game is recoverable.
I was going to say, is at that point, is it a case of you just remove those models and shake your opponent's hand, or is it a case of it's a courtesy
In
to
a
just
lot
go, I'm
of
done?
cases, probably just because there's even the two most agreeable people in the world in a very competitive situation that is going to be difficult to resolve without someone feeling slighted.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's definitely a bridge we don't want to cross. Hopefully nobody drops
so
their
we're
tape
just
measure.
not going to put that evil on anybody.
Right.
No, of course not. I just wondered if that was a thing that has happened before.
I'm sure it has.
I'm
I
just
know
interested
there's
in
been
all the
game state
processes.
issues before, but like it just you just try not to do that.
Well, and even worse, there's a WTC requirement that armies are painted, so you really don't want to drop your tape measure on your painted army.
Yeah, or your friend's painted army.
That's,
I was going to say opponent, but
Or-
I mean it's both, right?
fair. Before and after the game, I'm not so sure about it during the game right now.
Yeah, right now the people are in the zone.
Yeah, they're not pulling any punches. They're not earning points for being.
And I don't think you are even half an hour after a game, or maybe 10 minutes after a game. You need that time to decompress after such a intense
some.
match. Yeah.
For some, yeah. Then there's other people that we've seen literally all weekend that literally the second after the game they're still best friends. So
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I think the later we go in these matchups, obviously the more it begins to really, really matter. We'll probably get.
to a certain degree, yes, but you're also talking about players that themselves have been at this for a while.
Yeah, of course.
They're known for their sportsmanship and their conduct, so you still continue to see that camaraderie.
That looked like an awful lot of damage.
That
there
was a very palpable hit, yeah.
going into that jack.
Yep.
Oh,
And he has managed to take a number of them off the board. See, folks, this is why you don't do what I say. Ooh, go again.
Those
More
are
of those.
some very good
9.
rolls.
Yeah.
Florian, are they your dice?
Right.
They're not the right color. That's the only reason I know.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah,
but
right.
Boom.
There's another jack off the table.
Jeez.
Oh, they
That's-
might have just been removing the head of it so they can get behind it.
Nope. That's gone.
Oh, that's the head.
It
That's
looked, yeah, it looked like he did come apart. Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes. Sorry. Ooh.
that's got to be
Okay.
Murder She Wrote there for that.
No, it's
Ah,
close. He's got.
Yeah.
couple boxes
Yep,
left.
there
it
they go.
goes.
He's a goner. That's only 4 left now. One of them being Karchev.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it looks like he's lost 3 jacks so far, maybe.
Yeah. That was rather devastating. But those primal archons and some of the other stuff that he's bringing to
4
bear,
jacks gone.
yeah, is
Oh, wow.
potent.
Yeah, we can see that Jakub has all of his jacks on blocks there to the right hand side.
Well, and that's what I was saying. I was so interested to see how this played out with Baldur too, because I haven't seen him in a while, and he just. He's got Charles stepping into Doug's hot seat to talk a little bit about his victory over on that side. So
How we doing, Charles?
Welcome.
Yeah, I managed to take out the win with Gatsby going on to Magic.
yeah,
I forgot the matchup. I think they dropped Circle and Troll into me.
yeah. So you had basically Magic Champion of the Creoles, or Great Chieftain.
Sorry, it was me and Karchap being dropped into Troll. I think he picked me.
Yeah,
Troll picked me, then I picked this table.
gotcha.
So knowing like my 2 lists is Gordon and Ostrom.
Mm-hmm.
Gordon with solid ground kind of counters Gunbjorn pretty hard.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we know it's going to be Magic and it's going to be Gordon.
Yeah.
We
So-
saw a huge feat turn that you had in the middle where you pulled 9 of his models.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 9.
Yeah, that's crazy to be able to pull them all in there. And
I had playing against our local guy John, who plays the Magic with like 50 Creoles. I've pulled 40 models before.
Yeah, but to get all 9 of those pulled in and then to go through and just realistically decimate a bunch of them.
Yeah.
That had to feel pretty good, especially because you were looking to, after that, you were looking to deny the assassination run on his turn.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then to be able to flip that around and go for the assassination on Madrak, was that just a opportunistic opening, or were you watching for that?
I was not watching for that. I usually don't look for assassination vectors.
Yeah.
I didn't think he would put Magic so far forward. And Gatsby just loaded up on 3 souls or went to 8 focus. I just odds machined it. It was like 89%. Like, okay, that's good enough. I'll go for it.
Well, yeah, and you were able to plink away the Pyre Trolls just before that.
Yeah.
Which definitely opened up that flank so that you didn't have to worry about it as much.
Exactly.
yeah.
So, great.
Well, that must feel really good to get that win after such a quick, decisive victory on table 3, going against Canada. So now you even up 1-1, and we have just had a result come in from table 1 as well. How do you feel your team's chances are going against Norway? Do you think you're going to come out and do a 4-1 or a 3-2?
I wasn't paying attention to the other tables as much,
So,
though. I think
Martin took Matt.
Yeah, Martin
So
took Matt,
that's
yeah.
1 for Norway.
Yeah.
And then our other 3 are in progress here.
Okay.
There are definitely over on this end on tables 1 and 2. There are definitely some control point and time advantages on that side.
On our side?
Yeah,
Yes.
on the
Okay.
Canada side. And then
So
looks like there was a result over there.
yeah, table 1 has just finished. Both the players just doing that handshake there to see what's going on. But I think the active matches we've got left are table 2,
And
which
table 4.
and table 4. But Jonas is looking pretty tight on time here, so
Very
it looked like
tight on time.
John can hopefully, I don't know, manipulate the game state to a position where he can just make
What's that?
Jonas timeout, and then
Oh,
obviously
Norway. So Norway clocked on table 1.
Oh, they
Norway
clocked.
So Corey
And-
takes it. Okay.
And I guess
How close
table
are they
2.
on table 2?
he had like 3 minutes on his clock earlier.
Yeah.
something
it was
like
down.
that. Yeah, it's not a lot, is it? It's 1-1 on
1-1
control points.
control.
Where's the... Oh, they're using a different clock.
They are
Yeah.
using a different clock. Yeah.
Yeah, both tables 1 and table 2 were preferring to
Right.
25 minutes in Canada's favor to 4 minutes on Norway's side. I mean, still 1-1 at the
Control point stage.
control points. That's still, I'm not seeing any real vectors for clearing a whole lot off the board there. So yeah, as long as you can keep him tied up, he's
Yeah.
probably just going to clock him out. Let's swing back over to table 4 real quick if we can.
Okay. I'm
So
good to go.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You
Thank
can.
you very
so
much,
for joining
Charles.
us,
Thank you.
Charles.
All right, so Jakob's trying to recoup some kind of battlefield control after losing all of those jacks that last turn.
Yeah, losing. I think it is a total of 4 jacks that he's lost. He's got the 3 down the bottom. one off
So
the side.
4 gone. I believe it looks like it's Devastator and 2 Juggernauts. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he, of course, still has Karchev hanging back there, and you got to wonder whether or not he's going to try to commit Karchev or just keep him the hell out of harm's way at this point.
Well, I don't know.
Because Marc-Andre's still got a lot on the table.
Yeah, he is also 3 control points up and about a minute and a half down, but that's irrelevant when you are currently in Jakob's turn here.
Yeah, and that's already narrowing to closer to a minute.
Time is a wonderful thing and goes incredibly quickly.
Yeah, it goes obscenely fast,
Yeah.
especially when you're in the hot seat. When it's your turn, you're trying to especially come back from a pretty wicked last turn.
So it's a 2-1 for Canada there so far. 2-1 for Canada in matchups. So
Yeah, we've got Charles and Corey taking it for the Canada side, taking the victory, and then Martin so far on Team Norway.
all the way coming down to potential Canada-Australia final, but we'll have to see if these remaining 2 matches for Norway can pull it out of thin air.
There have definitely been some people hoping for the Norway versus Australia match, just based off how the last couple of tournaments have gone. But Yeah, right now it is a question mark.
It sure is. But if it keeps going the way it is and looking how it looks, we're going to be seeing a solid win for Canada and a third game they might be playing on the tabletop.
They will be going against Australia, and I double checked. They've lost one game total
All weekend.
all weekend. So 25 games or
That
24
is
and
that
one.
is incredibly
That's
impressive.
unbelievable,
That's-
especially against the level of players here.
Yeah.
And even it's a dice game, so there's sometimes things happen.
Right. Statistically, you have to be coming with some very strong play in order to
Yeah.
pull something like that off.
That's just it's truly mind-boggling.
Table 2 definitely needs a camp setting up for.
Yeah, we've got the judge coming over there to check some measurements.
They have now officially had more judge calls than Corey Doyle knocked over Archons last turn.
Yep, just got to get that measurement.
Rumor has it that's what they were planning on. You know, he was like, "Well, I can beat you on knocking my opponent's
Right.
models over. Well, I can beat you with judge calls."
It's the spirit of competition.
We're making Josh earn his keep.
I mean, you can see the clock there. Actually, 4 minutes and 30 seconds for Norway, and 21 minutes and 49 seconds. Clock on now for John here. 101 a piece. We can actually see the little counter at the very top. That's nice. That's cool.
Oh, that's good.
Oh,
Nobody
yeah, you can.
Nobody needs to go back over. We're good.
Yeah, that's convenient. Yeah, so
And it's ticking down fast.
well,
It's,
and it was
2.5 minutes.
definitely very much the other way when last we checked.
But yeah, we used 21 minutes to John and
Yeah.
4 minutes over to Jonas there.
Oh yeah, so it's pretty lopsided right now on the time.
Yeah, but got to play all your phases. Don't shortchange yourself, and make sure it's all above board.
I'm really surprised at the number of players that have clocked themselves in this event. I mean, as good as some of these players are, and as well as they know their list, I just didn't expect it as much, and it may be more common than I think because I'm more of a casual player. But
Yeah. All right. So the turn has gone back over to Mark.
Who
Mark
has
right over here?
the very
deciding who to-
mild time advantage.
well, and if he gets 2 points here, is this I don't know if
Yeah.
this is the top of the turn or the bottom of the turn.
I can't remember. I think it is the top of the turn.
Uh,
Just based on the clocks, because they've been playing their game incredibly close clockwise.
Yeah.
So he's just deciding the order that he needs to get things done in.
So if they're obviously if Mark did go first and gets those 2 points to take it 10-5, Jakub gets a turn to try and pull them 2 points back.
To try to answer.
And if he doesn't, then it's a VP diff victory.
I think that's
Got it.
correct.
Cool.
There it is.
And it's
There's
over.
the handshake. Yeah.
I guess it maybe it is just 5 points. Once you
It
get that
is,
5
yeah.
point spread, it's over.
Yep, at this stage.
So that puts does that win it for
Yep.
Canada?
Yeah,
It
it's
sure
Canada
does. Yep,
3-1.
does win it for
That's
Canada.
Charles, Mal, and Corey taking it down.
Okay. So it's going to be a Canada-Australia matchup.
Final round will get season for 3 times here. And that looks like a huge control point swing there for Canada. 5 points by the looks of things there to the 1 now. That's crazy. Pause for scoring. I think maybe what the players decided to do was go, look, our match really doesn't matter at this point.
Right. That's exactly what happened. I don't know if they're going to finish their game.
I assume so, but I mean, only from a potential standings point of view, does it matter?
No, honestly, at this point, it's not going to matter because it's going to come down to the team that's undefeated.
I mean, for like second and third and stuff. Or do
so that
you guys
it-
not do
it's
second
better-
and third?
I mean, I'm sure technically there is second and third, but
I know there's various trophies downstairs.
Right. I don't think anybody wants to think about
But
secretary,
that'll be part
yes.
of the award ceremony. But yeah, I mean, right now, what the people at the tables are worried about is first place.
Right. And you're right. Norway will want points for
Well,
tiebreakers and things like that,
yeah.
standings.
That's what I'm saying. John might
Yeah.
just be like, we might as well call it because, well, and Jonas might be like, well, hang on a minute, I've still got four minutes to
100%.
play.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
well, and just also the fact that they both traveled all this way. They want to play out their clocks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Got various members from Canada and Norway currently trading jerseys.
It's a
Which is,
custom.
but it's one of my favorite things,
It's
right?
great.
Because it's saying that, look, there's no hard feelings at all. I'm gonna wear your colors. You're gonna wear mine.
Yeah. I
Right.
think it's one of the coolest things about WTC.
Yep. Charles and Kuba just swapping shirts there.
Yeah.
Matt,
Fortunately, they're
Matt
both
and
about
Martin
the same
were
size.
actually having a bit of a hug a couple minutes ago. They
Yeah.
were the first game to be over there.
And that's the thing, right? It just takes that little bit of time to decompress after an intense matchup, like 10
Absolutely.
minutes, 5 minutes, or whatever.
Yeah, just the not being able to answer that relatively very fast win by Martin.
It
Yeah.
was very fast.
That's quite a shock to the system, isn't it, at that point?
Yeah, it's a little bit of, well, all right, I may have just punted there, so I need to go take a lap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
Because I know as soon as that game was over, the Canadian player got up and
Yeah,
needed to take a break.
Matt was like, I shall return.
Yeah.
But he always comes back, right? It's Matt.
I mean,
That's true.
for Martin as well, I feel quite devastated, right? Because he did so well to be able to win that really quickly. And then, unfortunately, the rest of his team fell a little bit short on pulling up their wins. And
Yep.
you can see, like, he's like, I won. Why you do this to me?
We are,
Yeah.
we're in the last 55 seconds here of Jonas's turn.
Minute 55.
Is it minute 55?
Yeah.
I'm seeing 2-0-0 and then 2 dots.
I feel like I see 0-0 also.
It's
Yeah.
0:0143.
Oh, okay.
It's got the hours first. Don't worry.
Ah, I see now.
You see it?
Yep.
Because we've also got a 0 on this side.
Yeah, that looks like the.
Got
just
it.
looks like the colon from here.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
But
a
still.
big ass colon.
Yeah. Needless to say, however, looking at under 2 minutes left.
It's not a significant amount of time, is it?
Right. Realistically, the only thing you look for here is completely take them off all the objectives, right, and then still have at least 45 seconds left to be able to pull off like a caster kill next turn. But that's a tough ask.
And looking at John, where is Madrak in this whole melee? Right at the back, right? Like, isn't he over here?
It's really difficult to see from this angle.
I
But
assume he's over here.
he should be the gray base in the back, but it's difficult to verify from this distance. But yeah, I mean, that's 37 seconds left on the clock.
It's not like not a massive amount of time. He's just trying to get some control points at this point.
Yep. So
Yeah.
when he just wants to more or less not look at the clock if he's going to be able to focus on finishing his turn.
Clocks work really differently in Warmachine to other games. So
And bloop.
scoring with 12 seconds left.
Yep.
Like clocks in, for example, other tournaments. When you run out of time, you're only allowed to make like saving throws. You're not allowed to move anything.
When you're out of time, your dice go down.
So, yep, we've
Well,
just
you
confirmed
you
one
lose,
more.
right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yep, so we've just confirmed one more point for each of them. And they're just verifying a couple things, and then we'll be looking at John to take his turn and just probably shore up his defenses, and it's going to be the end.
I don't think 12 seconds is enough time for me to even pick up and roll 3 dice.
Right.
Like, I'd have to count to 3 first, and that takes at least 6 seconds.
And if you're good at math like I am, it's going to take you
And-
12 seconds to total 3 dice.
Letting him do a little cleanup, and blah. All right, so we are on John's turn. Looking for deviation or some clarification on what the target there is.
Yeah.
Oof.
That's a fat 12 on those 3 dice.
So got that little
And
Still got going on here.
this means that once this match has rounded up, we'll have a small break between this match and round 6 of the WTC Warmachine World Championships, where we will see Canada Goose facing against the Frilled Neck Lizards from Australia. It's going to be a heck of a matchup.
It is going to be a doozy. It does not surprise me that that's going to be the finals.
Prediction of number of tables flipped?
0.
Uh,
These players they're above it.
they're pretty gentlemanly.
Yeah.
One of the Aussies I wouldn't want to flip a table though because he's about 7 foot tall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is he on that team? Oh,
Yeah.
Struth.
Yeah.
Okay. They're the notoriously small people, though. How is he? Is he infiltrated
I don't. Maybe it's 2 people.
in a coat?
Yeah.
3 raccoons in a trench coat.
3 kangaroos in a trench coat.
And we're just solidifying John's turn here, moving up. As you said, John, John, as you said earlier, John is just making his, that's very strange to say, making his defenses sure, making sure that he is getting out to those positions and not giving away multiple control points. Because, I mean,
Yeah, well, because the last thing that you want to have happen with a clock in this situation is to leave yourself open where all someone has to do is activate Model X, use ability, and take out your caster. Because I've seen it happen, right? It's rare, but like if you can use your last seconds to snatch the win.
just out of curiosity, say, obviously it's John's time, right?
Yeah.
Jonas is obviously thinking and planning in his head, right?
As much as possible. Yeah,
And
you basically, other than, reacting to those last few activations of your opponent, by the time it comes to your turn, you generally want to have as clear an idea of what you're about to do as possible.
Can you, like, because we see that he's got 3 red, 3 blue dice there at the top. Can he put those into piles ready to just roll?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
you're allowed to do that? Okay.
Those are just the dice. You're not really going to be moving tokens around or anything like that.
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't know if you were allowed to help, skimp on seconds by doing that in your opponent's time. Just grouping them. Because at 12 seconds left, literally every second matters.
You can absolutely group your dice. You just can't roll them until the clock ticks for you.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, anything that you can do without moving models or tokens or anything like that, any kind of, having your dice ready to go, that's all fully allowed.
Okay, cool. Brilliant. Just having that understanding is really useful.
Yes, absolutely.
Really, really useful.
What do you think? What do you think the mindset is on 48 other teams, and they still have a round to play after 6 rounds and the mental pressure to play.
Yeah, I think now they're just looking to enjoy the
Have a good
competitive
time.
nature of the games with a lot of the pressure valve released.
Part of me thinks, do you just make the last, like the 2 undefeated teams play and let everybody else knock back 12 beers in that time?
Well, there's nothing stopping them from doing that while they play.
Well, of course.
They are absolutely allowed to knock back
there will
beers and
very
play.
often be beers on the tables in those games.
Yeah, okay, fair play.
And I would not be surprised if that was the case.
So.
Oh.
Passing the clock. Back we go.
That is a 1 second.
1 second left. Yes, he has 1 second left.
So there's going to be nothing that you can do from this point, right?
Right. At this point, I'd just send the clock back over to him and call it good.
Yeah, but they're trying to
Play it out. I get it.
not
Totally understand.
not take anything away from their opponent as far as the experience of the game.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I would not be able to be wearing a beanie indoors right now.
I'm not happy having
my
pants
head
on.
is sweating looking
I
at it.
assume I've got a bald spot, so I probably would. If I know I'm on camera, I would.
That's fair.
Fair
I've
enough.
seen a few down shots on my own. I'm like, sure is getting thin on top.
Call it stress.
Yes, it is. That's what happens when you have a 23-year-old daughter.
Dracos Dragoon says it's a drinking game that everybody should play. Every time one of the players in the finals rolls doubles, take a drink and take a shot.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
Yes.
We have 5 tables. We can focus on one of them.
That still sounds like a terrible idea. Knowing the people coming in and the heat on their dice. No.
Knowing also the percentage of the liquor over here.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, there was some good 35, 40% stuff that I was given last night.
Oh, wow. Oh, now that you mention that, someone had shots of something that they were bringing around that it tastes like cough syrup.
Gil.
There were many people doing that.
Yeah.
Gil had
Yeah.
some
Fisherman's Friend stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was absolutely
And then-
terrible.
Finns had their own particular brand of torture,
Yes,
which is
that's
funny
they do.
because Gil's stuff, at least half of it was Finnish.
Of course
Right.
it was.
Because
The Finns.
there it is.
And there is the clock out.
And the
Bang.
handshake.
That is a 4-1 victory there
Yeah.
to Canada. All right, we'll come back to us to wrap up here just
Right.
before we can see our final match, which will be with you guys in, I assume, 3 o'clock at this point.
Yep,
Yeah, I think so.
that is the schedule.
Yeah, so we got 20 minutes to go get ourselves a drink, get a little boys' room if we need to,
Right.
reset some of the tables and other stuff, and get ready for our final match of the WTC.
Australia versus Canada.
Yeah, we've got
Canada.
what we got: geese versus lizards.
The goose and the lizard.
Sorry, gooses versus lizards.
Oh,
They're not called Canada geese.
yes, they're gooses.
They specifically, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Anyway, we'll be able to see them all face off, and it's going to be absolutely awesome. So we will be back in around 20 minutes
All right.
for our final.
Roll drums.
Bubba-da-dubba-da-dubba-da-dubba-da.